This is my new 95-gallon Peninsula tank. This is a replacement tank for the 75 that I had existing in my living room. This one basically is reef ready. As you can see, the overflow in that area. It's basically 6 months old already. Everything's doing well. My fishes are happy, the corals are happy. I'm doing an experiment on this one. I'm doing a hybrid LED slash T5. So basically I have the Evergrow IT2080, I believe it is, a 32-inch LED full spectrum, and then I retrofitted 4 T5s, 2 Blue Plus and 2 Coral Plus. This is how it looks like from the front of it. It looks like almost like, well, it's a half cylinder basically. It's a half cylinder, but it then goes straight back. I like this tank because it's tall. It's way taller than my 75-gallon, so the fishes could swim up and down a little better. Not only can they swim around the rockscape all around, but they could swim up and down if they want to. They're always waiting for the food. You can see my the little the ring up there, or the square. That's where the food falls into, and then it basically prevents it from going into my overflow. I put a fan in the entrance of the canopy, so it can basically suck in fresh air and run it through the lights in the top of the tank, so it could kind of cool it. And then, you know, basically the heat of the lights doesn't go down into the tank and heat up my tank. I live in Southern California, so right now we're in summer, or it gets hot and cold. So basically I was trying to go as much as I can without the chiller, but I had to add a chiller because my tank temperature was reaching 83 degrees and I lost 2 corals. So basically I wanted to prevent that, but it still runs, basically cooling the lights. I went ahead and removed the fan so you could look inside and look at the 4 T5s and the LED fixture. I'll turn them off in a little bit, but there you go. You get an idea of what's going on. Got the reflectors pointing down. Everything's looking good. Here's the sump. I went ahead and turned on the Refugium light. I usually have it on a reverse cycle. When my lights turn off, the Refugium goes on. Basically run bio pellets. That's carbon. Can't really see it, but it's a very slight tumble, not too much. I don't want it to grind itself. I just cleaned out the skimmer cup, so it's producing some foam, some skimmate. My dosers, BRS. I dose 2-part. I started the tank with I had some extra BRS 2-part, but as soon as I run out of it, I have ESV Bionic waiting for 2-part. When I started using that in my old tank, the corals were doing real good. They colored up real well. Chaeto just exploded. For a while it wasn't growing at all, but I guess once the tank was established and I added more fish and I started feeding the fish more, it just exploded. I'm gonna have to harvest it pretty soon. Here's my return pump. It's a Jebao DC12000. I basically have it feeding a manifold that's going to the tank, teed it off and I added a manifold. So it's basically feeding the bio pellets, carbon, and the UV light or UV sterilizer. It's a turbo twist, I believe. So far it's doing good. I read some reviews that it leaks or something, but it's not leaking at all for me. So I haven't mounted it yet. I'm gonna mount it higher up, like somewhere right here with the brackets, but I left it like that for now. Oh, and then basically, since the carbon doesn't need too much flow, I teed it off that way, and it goes into the Rowaphos. Give me 1 second. This is the sump. It drains down into here. The bubbles exit, then the water goes over to a sponge. It has a hole cut out for a filter sock, but I don't think I'm gonna use it. I haven't cleaned the filter socks in a while, so I have to get around to that. So I just shoved a sponge, one of those felt sponges, the blue with white sponge, and it catches a couple things, you know, the big stuff, and then something. I mean, all the time basically I have to hold it over the tank and let all the pods fall out because there's a bunch of pods on it. And basically this is the sump from this side. I got a Reef Octopus Diablo. Got it off Craigslist. I love Craigslist. This is Jebao's. I got 2 RW-8s and 2 RW-4s. And then that's the controller for the 1200. One thing you can't get away from is all the wires. I try to organize them as best I could, but there's still so many wires. That's the only thing I get that frustrates me, but I mean, that's what you need. Everything, you know, everything is serving a purpose. It's my Digital Aquatics ReefKeeper Elite. Temperature's getting up there. Excuse me. The salinity is not really that low. It's just air bubbles get trapped on the probe, and it basically gives you an incorrect reading. Let me show you. Went ahead and basically fanned the bubbles off, and they went up a little. It's still incorrect. I calibrated it twice, and it still gives me these readings. But my refractometer says it's at 35 parts per thousand, so the refractometer, I believe it. This one basically is just, I guess, a reference, maybe. I don't know. There is the chiller reading 78.4, and my probe is reading 79.1, so I need to calibrate that. There's my overflow, my reservoir, freshwater reservoir for top off.